Alright, what is up folks? I understand that the topic of the previous video might be shocking and upsetting to some audiences. So in this video, I'm going to switch to a lighter subject, okay? So this is a Chinese folklore that's been passed down for many generations. And most people in modern China tell this story as a joke. So don't take anything too seriously, okay? So this is the Chinese folklore on why the ethnic Chinese are superior versus all the other ethnicities. So it is told that in Chinese mythology that eons ago, every single human being on planet Earth was created by their goddess Nuwa Niang Niang. There's a picture of a Nuwa, so she's this snake-like shapeshifter creature. It's quite interesting that they use a snake to represent women. I think that's still very relevant today. So the story goes something like this. So Nuwa Niang Niang, when she went to the beach, so she made the first batch of humans from the sand at the beach. And then after this batch of sand was baked, they turned out to be 100% black. And she looked at the first batch of humans. She said, you know what, this is overcooked, this is all burnt, and this is no good. Once again, Nuwa Niang Niang, then she picked up a second batch of sand. She molded them into human shapes, and then she put them into the oven. However, this second batch, after it came out, they were all completely white. And so Nuwa Niang Niang, then she looked at the second batch of humans, and she said that, oh, this is undercooked. It's way too pale. It's just not good. Then Nuwa Niang Niang, then she went to the beach again. She picked up a third batch of sand, and she molded them into the third batch of humans. And after the third batch of humans came out, and she looked at them, she said, this is still medium well to well done. These people are still a little bit too dark. And these turned out to be the Indians. And finally, Nuwa Niang Niang visited the beach one last time. She picked up some sand and clay and she molded them into the final batch of humans. And she put these final batch into the ovens. And after the final batch came out, she said that, you know what? This is the perfect skin tone. This is just medium rare, exactly where I want it. And this would become the ethnic Han Chinese people. Now, like I've said at the start of this video, this story is being told as a joke. There's no official version of the story. There are many variations of it throughout China, but generally it goes something like this. You know, it's quite interesting. The Chinese, they always say that, you know, they're the descendants of the dragon. They have a 5,000-year history, and they said they're proud of their yellow skin. Yet, almost every single Chinese person on Earth is 100% obsessed with being white. I'm just saying, okay? And one more thing, this is the Chinese story on how the Europeans, more specifically the Italians, invented pizza. Because obviously the Chinese civilization has been around long before the Europeans. And of course, the art of eating dumplings has been with the Chinese civilization ever since day one. So they said that thousands of years ago, these European travelers, more specifically the Italians, they visited China thousands of years ago. And during their journey to China, they found out about the Chinese dumplings for the first time, and they tried it, and it was absolutely delicious. And so the Italians thought, oh my god, this is so delicious, so perhaps we could replicate this. So let's travel back to Italy, and let's introduce this food into the Italian cuisine. And the Italians tried their hardest to replicate the dumpling, but they would go on to fail and fail and fail again. And the Chinese version is that because their hands are way too rough, so after they rolled out the dough, they don't have the technique to close it. They don't know how to shape the dough into a dumpling or shape it into various other shapes like the Chinese bao or the dim sum, which the Chinese eat for breakfast. And they keep on trying, and they failed every single time. So what happened in the end is that the Italians basically give up on their attempt. They just said, screw it, we'll just roll the dough into a circular shape and we'll just throw a bunch of random stuff on top and we'll just bake it in the oven and we'll call this pizza because we don't have the technique of the Chinese to shape the dough into various different shapes. So, and that is how pizza was invented. No, I'm serious, this story is actually being told by millions of Chinese people. The Chinese culture can be quite arrogant in many aspects. For example, China in Chinese is actually not called China, by the way. It's called 中国, which means center country or middle kingdom. They literally think that they're in the middle of the world. So there you have it. I just thought this story is quite interesting and I want to share it with you guys. Next video will be a very special video which will be released on Mother's Day on this Sunday. And I hope you guys will have a great Mother's Day weekend ahead. See you guys on Sunday.